if everybody right now can just say, you know what? I am so happy that I get to do this on a daily basis. I get to show up for myself. I get to eat healthy. I get to work out. I freaking love this. I love my body where I'm at, and I'm going to love it even more when I reach where I want to get to. I don't care how long it takes. I'm here for the journey. I'm here for the ride. I'm here for the lifestyle. If you all can accept that right now, you don't have to wait to give yourself permission to be happy.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Macro Hour with Nikkiey Stott, co-founder of WarriorBabe. And on this podcast, we talk about mindset, methodologies, and tactics that will help you lose body fat, build muscle, be strong, and feel insanely confident. I'm your host, Nikkiey Stott, and welcome to this special episode bringing you guys live into one of our VIP coaching calls. The 1,000 plus women inside of this call are all working towards becoming stronger, more confident versions of themselves through one-on-one coaching with WarriorBabe. And WarriorBabe's mission, if you don't already know it, is to help 100,000 women plus go beyond that through sustainable, realistic fitness methodologies, achieve their desired body composition no matter what their age is. And each day, we get closer and closer to hitting that 100,000 number. So I hope this live training helps you, and maybe if you aren't already a WarriorBabe, then you will be one soon. Enjoy.
You guys know that I love talking about mindset stuff. And mindset's like the bottom of that iceberg, right? It's the things that you don't see. Whereas like the tip of the iceberg is the macros, the workouts, like all that kind of stuff, the tactical things that are going to get you to your results. But if you don't have the mindset and alignment with it, if you don't have the discipline, the habit building, the persistence, my success nutrition facts, the hustle, the focus, the persistence, the discipline, understanding that you're going to fail, taking risks, patience, all that kind of stuff. If you guys don't have that, it's going to be an upward battle to the longevity of the results you want to have. It's going to be an upward battle to maintaining the results that you want, not just having a success in 3 months or 6 months or 1 year here. It's like, okay, how can I maintain? Like, I'm on year 7. Am I still working towards specific aspects of my body? Yes, 100%. But now I have to maintain the things that I've worked for. So, it's that type of mindset that you guys need to learn to develop. And all of these things that I said, hustle, focus, persistence, discipline, patience, they're perishable things. I've talked about this before. They're perishable skill sets. So you have to constantly be practicing them and working on them every single day. And that's the bottom of the iceberg, like I said. So now I've talked about goals before. I talked about the Atomic Habits book. A lot of you guys have read that book. So what I want to kind of bring to the table again tonight is not really focusing on the goals. So here's like a little twist. You guys know from that book, he mentions you to focus on the systems instead, right? If you have a goal weight inside of the gym, if you have a goal weight that you want to accomplish, you may hit them, but you're also may not, right? Some of you guys think that, I want to lose 20 pounds or, I want to get to this goal weight. But, the scale isn't always the biggest indicator of your success. You guys know that I've preached that, and that number may not always reflect the number you want to see, because on top of that, you're building muscle, and building muscle is more dense. So you guys have these kind of goals in your minds, but I want you to know that the results that you have very little have to do with your goals, and they have to do with every type of system that you're putting into play along your journey. And what I mean by the systems is tracking your macros consistently, weekly, drinking your water, getting enough sleep, prioritizing your sleep, working out, all of those things, right? Your goal when you come into VIP or when you come into WarriorBabe, your goal here might be to lose fat and to build muscle. Awesome. Cool. Those are great goals. But the systems to get you to that goal are the macros, is being consistent, is being patient, is having discipline. It's not necessarily relying on motivation, because that's not going to be there all the time. It's having the discipline to show up no matter what. It's drinking your water on a daily basis. It's getting enough sleep. It's hitting your workouts on a weekly basis. So great. Awesome. I love that you guys have those goals, but What do your systems look like, right? If you want better results, forget about getting those goals, focus on your systems instead.
Hey, just want to drop a huge appreciation to you guys listening to the show. It means a lot. I hope you guys are enjoying it, and there's so much more to come with it. If you are enjoying it, hit the subscribe button. I'd appreciate that tons. And also, it would help this podcast reach others who need to hear these messages too. Thanks so much, guys. Let's get back to the show.
So many problems arise when you spend too much time thinking about the goals, right? We always, and I've said this before, like you want to just detach yourself away from that end point, because if you're so wrapped up in the goal that you're striving for, you're only going to be focused on that. And then you're going to be absorbed by it. And you're not going to be paying attention to, okay, these daily little things that I'm doing, these small little things are going to compound over time, and they're going to get you to that end result. They're going to get you to that goal. But if you're so absorbed by it, it's going to run the show rather than you trying to focus. Okay, what do I need to do just today to get me to that end goal? What do I need to do tomorrow? What do I need to do this week that I can apply next week and I can apply the following week? And so everyone's thinking about their goals too much and not enough time designing and getting better at those systems. Okay. Even so much as taking a step back and being like planning ahead. I mean, I know myself, coaches have spoke to this, is if you're somebody who's tracking your macros as you go throughout the day, you're setting yourself up for failure at that point, because you're going to get to the end of the day and you're going to be like, oh man. And I know I see a couple of head nods. I know I'm probably speaking to a couple of you guys on here, because you're getting to the end of the day and you're like, man, I have 20 more grams of protein to hit. I have 50 grams of carbs and I have 30 grams of fat. What the heck am I going to do? And then you end up macro hoarding. And you guys know how I feel about macro hoarding. It's going to be the next documentary on Netflix. Okay. We don't want to macro hoard. You're going to feel like shit. You're not going to be able to sleep, and you just don't want to do that. Okay. So even so much as that's a habit. You want to plan the night before. You want to build that into your habit stacking methods, and you want to follow through on doing that. And then as you get more advanced, I know I've talked about this too before, as you get more advanced in the tracking macros, like myself and some veterans on here, you can literally go without tracking for half of your day, pull back for a second, be like, okay, I need to log into my MyFitnessPal and I need to track what I've eaten so far so that I know how much I can eat for the rest of the day, or what I can do that's going to hit my macros. There's different levels of your habits, but the first thing to go at is to build a habit of getting your tracking done the night before, or even the morning up before you have the day to go, and make sure all your meals are together. And meal prepping is a basic daily habit, or a basic weekly habit. If you like to spend one time on like a Sunday or a Saturday, making that time to meal prep ahead of time, or if you like to do it 2 days a week, whatever it may be, is going to best work for your schedule. These are systems that I'm talking about. The system of so much so is opening up your calendar on a Sunday and looking at your calendar and being like, this is what I do every week, and being like, okay, what days and what times am I going to work out this week? Because those days and times change every single week for me. But I know these days I'm going to be able to dedicate this block of time to getting my workout in, regardless of anything that comes up. Like, it's going to happen no matter what. It's a standard to show up. Right. So it's like, that's a system. So even filling up your water bottle the night before, like a gallon water bottle, whatever you guys drink out of, that's a system. That's getting you then tomorrow to drink that water. Right. So what do you have to do system wise that's going to get you to those results? Because the results very little have to do with your goals. Okay. They have everything to do with how you're showing up every minute, every hour, every day for those goals that you want to accomplish. All right. So I want you to know, being inside this program, you guys, and also from the book Atomic Habits, that winners and losers have the same goals. All right. Successful and unsuccessful people, they share the same goals. You and I have the same goals. Cheryl, Brandy, Lisa, Laura, you guys have the same goals. But some people inside this program may drop out of it and may not continue on, but they have those same goals. So a goal can't be what differentiates winners from losers. You guys all have the same goals, right? Some people may not show up 110%, but they say they have the same goal as you do. It's the systems that you specifically implement for yourself that are going to be the why you show, why the winners win and why the losers don't, right? The ones that doing the same continuous things over and over again, small improvements to tracking, small improvements to consistency, small improvements to drinking more water. If there's the losers can't get, I don't mean to, be so blunt, but this is also a point from the book. They say winners and losers have the same goals, but the losers aren't the ones that are tracking consistently. They're not the ones that are spending the day before making sure that their macros are in alignment and then following through with hitting all of their macros for the day. They have the same goals as somebody else here in this program, but they're not showing up in the same way, right? So don't let the goals be what differentiates you from the winners from the losers, because you guys have the same ones. It comes down to what are the winners doing in their systems that are getting them to win, right? And how can you get on that same track of all of the winners that have accomplished their goals? All you have to do is do what they're doing and apply it for yourself, instead of like coming up with excuses as to why I'm not tracking, or why I'm not hitting my macros, or why I'm not getting enough sleep, or why I'm not drinking my water, or all those systems that I've already mentioned, right? Or even down to the self-talk. I mean, macros, water, all this is surface level stuff, but how are you talking to yourself on a daily basis? Winners say, I got this. Winners are not allowing excuses to run the show. They're in the driver's seat, excuses are in the back seat, and they're driving the car to the gym to get their workout done, right? It's not time. They're not the ones saying time is in the way. They're the ones that are showing up. They're the ones that are doing it, right? So make sure that your systems are in alignment with how those people are getting the results. What are they doing? They're being consistent. They're showing up. They're drinking their water. They're getting their sleep. They're saying, I can do this instead of I can't do this. Right? And also too, understanding that achieving a goal is only a monetary change. So if you have a goal focused mindset, that's only a momentary change. So you may not be happy with where you're at. You find a new plan, you find a new program, you get this energy, you dive right into it, but that's all in the moment, right? But if you maintain the same habits of inconsistency, if you maintain the same habits of eating bad or not eating enough or not tracking, and you're fearing carbs, the same habits that got you to that unhappy situation that brought you here, right, to begin with, you'll soon again be unhappy. So you're left chasing these same outcomes because you never change the system behind it. Does that make sense? So many people think that, you have to change the result, but results aren't the problem here, you guys. What really needs to change are the systems that cause the results, right? If somebody's unhappy with their body, mainly it's because they're not eating right, they're not eating enough. They don't have to change their body. They have to change their eating habits. They have to change the consistency of how they're eating. They have to change the way that they're working out. It's not the result, it's the system. Does that make sense? Right? When you solve the problems at a result level, you only solve them temporarily. In order to improve for the long haul, improve for the good, you need to solve the problems at the systems level. Okay, so achieving a goal, whether it be 20 pounds, whatever you want to do, changing your body composition, that's why people in programs, right? They get in, they do what the diet tells them to do. They focus on the end goal, and then they forget all the habits that got them to that goal. And then bam, they're back to this freaking square one. Right? Because they only focus on the end result and changing that goal, and they didn't focus on the systems. And maybe they did focus on the systems, but they didn't learn to maintain it. They didn't learn to turn into a longevity. They didn't learn how to adapt and adopt those habits into their lifestyle. Or, now my brain's just spiraling, where that program was just not even sustainable or realistic, like, keto or something like that. That's just another ball game for another time, but you know what I mean? So like, you want to focus on healthy longevity habits, the systems that will get you to that end result. Another thing too, guys, goals freaking restrict your happiness big time. I personally have experienced this before. I know so many of you guys have too as well. Everyone thinks that once I reach this goal, I'm going to be happy. How many of you guys have thought that? Once I reach this own goal, I'm going to be happy. Once I drop these 20 pounds, I'm going to be so happy. Once I look a certain type of way, I'm going to be happy. Once I have my dream body, I can be happy. Once I lose 50 pounds, I can be happy, right? We've all been there. With that goal mentality, you're putting your happiness off until you reach that goal. So goals create like an either or conflict. You either achieve it and you successfully do, or you fail and you're disappointed. It's an either or. And it's unlikely that your actual path that you're on through your entire journey will ever match the exact process that you had in mind when you set out. I know we all can speak to that. We're in VIP, we're in WarriorBabe. I thought that I would see results in 2 weeks. What the heck is going on? I want to get to this goal in X amount of time. We've all been there, okay? And it's unlikely that path that you imagine in your brain is going to go exactly as you think it's going to go. And that's because you're so focused again on the goal instead of like, okay, what do I just need to do today, right? That's where you want to develop the systems first mentality. I need to have the systems first instead of the goals first mentality. When you fall in love with your process, you guys, when you fall in love with your journey rather than the product that you're trying to go for, the goal that you're trying to go for, you don't have to wait to give yourself permission to be happy. If everybody right now can just say, you know what? I am so happy that I get to do this on a daily basis. I get to show up for myself. I get to eat healthy. I get to work out. I freaking love this. I love my body where I'm at, and I'm going to love it even more when I reach where I want to get to. I don't care how long it takes. I'm here for the journey. I'm here for the ride. I'm here for the lifestyle. If you all can accept that right now, you don't have to wait to give yourself permission to be happy. You're already happy. So goals too, they're at odds with like long-term progress, which is what we're trying to establish here. Goals are at odds with long-term progress. So the goal-oriented mindset, you guys, it creates that yo-yo effect. Think about it from this concept. And I think this was what they shared in the book. Runners who work hard for months, and then as soon as they cross that finish line, they stop training, right? Or someone who follows a diet for so long, and then as soon as they reach this goal, they stop eating that way, right? Or the diet's online 6 weeks and then the results stop, right? The goal is no longer there to motivate them. So they're at odds with long-term process. Like I opened up this call and said, I'm 7 years in, I'm learning, I have to maintain the things that I've worked for. So that's long-term, that's longevity. That's like, this is my lifestyle, right? And goals kind of conflict with that, because if you're like, I just need to get here, well, then you're kind of like a marathon runner who's just focused on the run, and then they cross the finish line and they stop running, they stop training, and they stop working for it, right? The goal is no longer there to motivate them. The diet is no longer there to motivate them, right? This is why many people revert back to all of the old habits that I said. They revert back instead of them focusing on what got them to the goal. They revert back to what they were doing before, and that's why they end up in the same place, right? They revert back to what they did to accomplish that goal. And the purpose of setting goals, you guys, is to win the game. That's it. The purpose of setting goals is to win the freaking game. But the purpose of building these systems, the purpose of getting the consistency down, the purpose of, loving your journey, the purpose of establishing a schedule for your routine every day is to continue playing the game. Okay. So a goal is just like, cool, we're going to the World Series. That's a goal. Let's go. And then think about it like that. That's a perfect analogy. Is like, why do you think Tom Brady, this is a perfect example, why do you think he freaking is a GOAT in football? I'm sorry if anybody, you guys are not Tom Brady fans, but he is an amazing athlete. And why do you think that he's not, this is the longevity, this is his life, right? That's what he does. He's not focused on just one Super Bowl. He's focused on winning them all. And he's surely proven that, right? He's focused on continuing to play the game, not just going to win the game. He's focused on to continue playing the game. And that's what we're here to do too. We're not just focused on the purpose of setting goals to win or purpose of building systems so you guys can continue playing, so you guys can maintain the results that you want, so that you can be 7 years in. You can be like, cool, I worked so hard for the first 3 to 4 years. I'm not just going to revert back to what I was doing before the 4 years. That's not who you are anymore. You've created a whole new life for yourself and whole new habits. So how can I continue playing the game? It's putting those systems that you just did for the last 4 years into play even more. So again, let's focus on developing our systems, building our systems. I'm not saying goals are not good to have, but you can have them, just detach away from, if they're owning you, if they're like having you be like, why am I not getting here faster? Then they're controlling you instead of you controlling the fact that you can do all that. But you have to do it with the systems. You have to do it just worrying about like, hey, did I show up today? If you can genuinely answer that question with a hell yeah at the end of the day, and you keep doing that, it's all going to compound. It's all going to end up being that way where you want to be with your goal in months, in whatever time it takes you to get there, right? So fall in love with the process rather than that end goal, and allow yourself to enjoy it every freaking day right now. Just allow that permission to sink in. So you're not looking, and allow yourself to be happy right now rather than like, when am I going to get here? When's it going to happen? How fast are results going to happen? Let it go. And just make sure that if you're showing up every day, you're doing what your coach is telling you to do, you're putting in the work, you're getting it done, it's going to happen.
Real quick, the only ask I could ever have of you guys is to help spread the word so we can help more women lose body fat, build muscle, reach their goals, and feel insanely confident. And the only way we can do that is if you rate, review, and share this podcast. So the single thing I ask for you to do is if you could leave a review. It will take you 10 seconds, and it will mean the absolute world to me and may change the world of someone else.